And the Prime Minister confirmed this morning that she will be nominating Harry Jenkins for Speaker, so he's up again. Our studio guest this morning is the Deputy Leader of the Liberal Party, Julie Bishop. But just before then, a couple of political stories overseas that we need to cover. The Foreign Minister, Kevin Rudd, has addressed the United Nations overnight, and here's Kim Landers in New York to bring us up to date on that.
Kevin Rudd has been Foreign Minister for less than 2 weeks and he's already wrapping up his first overseas trip. He's visited Pakistan, Washington and he's finished with an address to the United Nations General Assembly here in New York. He's certainly hit the ground running, covering everything from climate change to anti-poverty goals to nuclear disarmament. And in his speech to the UN General Assembly, he's described the nuclear programs of North Korea and Iran as a potent threat. He's also warned about the threat of terrorism and says that thanks to efforts of countries like Australia in Afghanistan, that country is no longer a haven for groups like Al-Qaeda. He's also addressed the reforms that are needed to the United Nations body itself, saying without them that this body would become irrelevant and in fact it would become a hollow shell.
Put even more starkly, we must do that which we say. If we have a conference on disarmament, it should do disarmament, not pretend. If we say we have a convention on climate change, it must do the job to tackle climate change, not just talk about it. Similarly with development. Otherwise, the UN's credibility in the eyes of the world and our own citizens will eventually collapse.
Kevin Rudd has shown every sign he's doing his best to adjust to his changed circumstances and his new role. He's met with many other foreign ministers, a prime minister or two. He's had a chat with the US President Barack Obama and he's soaked in effusive praise from the US Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, who's described him as a friend and colleague. Kevin Rudd is now on a plane on his way back to Australia. He'll be there for the resumption of that finely balanced parliament, another forum in which he's going to have to get used to a few changes.
And Kim Landers there in New York.